Hey y'all, welcome back to the kitchen. All right, so it is Easter weekend, and I'm getting ready to make some banana bread. As promised, I think it's just a perfect time to bake anyway, but typically I do a lot of baking around the holidays, although I don't get too hyped up into the holidays. I do love to bake. If you know me, you know I love to bake. So we're going to make this banana bread. Two things with the banana bread. The reason I wanted to share this with you all is because we have been working on um, towards this recipe anyway. It's almost hurricane season, y'all. We live in Florida. Y'all know we have this bipolar weather. If you are on my garden channel, you already know what's been happening in the garden. It's just been wonky. So you just never know. You always need to have some food that's prepared that you can just grab and eat. Banana bread is one of those things where you can bake it in advance before a storm comes. You can always freeze it. It's freezer friendly. So you can make it, freeze it, put it up, and then when it's time to thaw out, you still got food if your power goes out. Anything like that. So I decided to go ahead and do that today. It's just a basic recipe and you can jazz it up. Sometimes I put raisins in it. Sometimes I just make it plain. We're making it plain today because I didn't want to complicate anybody who does or loves traditional banana bread. So if you are watching this on my Facebook channel, y'all, I miss y'all. I've been trying to upload some videos there for you guys, but they're so huge. So I'm just going to link my YouTube channel, which is where everything is, from everything that you guys missed over the last 2 quarters of last year, with our trips back and forth to Jamaica, Honduras, all of that is in there, everything. And even after Hurricane Milton, well, just everything. All of that stuff is out there. Things that you guys missed from that time, things that you've missed from Melissa, all of that, everything is there. I've been trying to keep you guys in the loop on Facebook, but those videos are so huge that they're hard to compress and upload to Facebook. So I can only do reels, and it's just so much involved in them that the reels won't do them justice. So I'll just link those videos for you. If you guys want to support my YouTube channel, that's where everything is. All the excitement that's going on in the garden, things that have happened in the kitchen since we've been back from Honduras and Jamaica, all of that, everything. So anything that you've missed from our hurricane seasons here to current what we had to deal with in Jamaica, the aftermath after Melissa. We were not there during the storm, y'all. We were here waiting for things to calm down, and then we traveled there. So there's some footage from there. That was after we got back from Honduras. But let's skip on to the commercial. Let's get past that. And let's go ahead and make our banana bread. So you guys know, you've been with me in the kitchen. I typically like to prepare things already. I'm making 2 loaves today. So I've already prepared my pans. They're nice and buttered, floured. They're ready to go. Okay. And then I've already laid out my ingredients because although I love to bake, I don't want to be in here all night. So I have flour, we have our sugar, we have our cinnamon, baking powder, baking soda, vanilla. I got this vanilla from Honduras. You can see it's almost gone. It's so delicious. I'm using sea salt. I have my eggs here. My butter, I set my butter out so it's nice and squishy and soft. You want your butter at room temperature, okay? And then your bananas, the key ingredient to your bread, you want them as ripe as possible. So typically what I do, I buy my bananas. If I see that they're starting getting spots, I know if I'm out of banana bread, I know that that's what these are going to be for. So I go ahead and just put them aside and let them spot on up and ripe up. And then I use them for banana bread. I also use them for making smoothies too. You guys have seen me do that in the past. But that's typically what I do. So nothing goes to waste, and then guess where the pills are going? In the garden, in the compost. So without further ado, let's get going on this banana bread. All right, family, I am using my mic today to keep my hands free so that you guys can follow me during this recipe. So what I typically like to do is obviously peel my bananas. There's no form of fashion. I like a nice size, and I use 3 If they're small, I'll use 4, but I use 3 bananas, medium to kind of large size, because that's going to be the base of your batch mix here. So there are my 3 bananas. I take the strings off too. We don't need all of that going on here. I try to get all of them off. All right. And then what you're going to do is smash these beautiful bananas. You're going to mash them. They should be soft because they're ripe, right? So you want to smash them down to a nice, almost like pudding-like consistency, because that's going to make you mix the batter a little bit better. You don't want it rough and tough. But if they're ripe enough, you already know this should be nice. It's almost like making baby food, y'all. Just like that. You want to get it nice and soft. And see, what I like to do is once I get most of the lumps out, just like this, I like to go ahead and take that nice soft stick of butter that I have, okay? And it's 8 tablespoons of butter, which is a stick of butter, y'all. It's so nice and soft, so I want to try to get that in there. And also with my pans, I also prepared my pans with the same butter. I buttered them and then I floured them. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I missed you guys in the kitchen. It's been so crazy since we got back, y'all. Just been busy and hustling, but trust, this kitchen is open 24 hours. It never closes. So you want to mix this down. See that? If you have a hand mixer, that's a whole lot better. I'm really traditional on this. I like to do it by hand. My grandma used to do it by hand. I like to do it. She did have a mixer for certain things, but a lot of her baking was just by hand. All right, so there we go with that. All right, y'all. Up next, you want to measure out 2 cups of flour. Always try to level it off. You don't need to put more in this than what's required. So let me get my little leveler. Okay. Have my 1 cup of flour. I'm gonna level that off. I like to sift my flour into my batter. You don't have to do it this way, but I just do. Most of the flours that we have now are kind of pre-sifted, and you really don't need to do that, but just from traditional baking, I like to sift my flour. I don't care what I'm baking, I still do it. I don't have lumpy flour, but still. One more scoop of that flour. I'm going to sift that right on in there. Just a whole way of baking. I just love it this way. Not for anything, but you see, you still get little lumps and stuff in there, and I don't want that in my bread. All right, so now we're going to also put in 2 cups of flour. Well, actually 1 cup of, sorry y'all. 1.5 cup of sugar. So because I'm out of brown sugar, I'm not adding that. So I'm doing 1 cup of sugar and 1/2 cup of sugar, which my other half usually is brown sugar, but I'm out of that right now. So we're gonna make do with this. There's that sugar. Then we're gonna do a half a cup. Remember, your bananas are really ripe, so try not to make it too sweet, y'all. Get it right there. Okay. And then we're gonna mix that in. All right, y'all. Okay, now let's get some more liquid in here so we don't have banana biscuits. All right, this is teaspoon time. It's pretty much a teaspoon of everything. So let's do the dry first, because once these get wet, they're kind of hard to deal with. So we're gonna do a teaspoon of baking powder. Teaspoon. We're gonna do a teaspoon of baking soda. We're gonna do a teaspoon of salt, sea salt. Do this over here just in case. I don't want to put too much of that in there. There we go. And now we're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla. I typically like to use the cap for this. I like a little extra vanilla. Just do a dab more. It's so wonderful, y'all. It really is. And then we're going to do a teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh, that side not going to work. Actually, just do it like this. And I level it as I'm pulling it out of there, just to make sure that we don't do more than what we need. Okay. All right, that's that. Now y'all can see what the batter looks like right now before I finish mixing it in. There we go. So we're gonna mix that, and then we're gonna add in our eggs. I just like to get everything combined. I wish y'all could smell this. Oh my God, it smells so good. Oh, it smells so delicious, y'all. Look at that beautiful batter. Once all of this is incorporated, and I use a fork just to make sure I get really good in there. Then we're gonna add 2 eggs. I need a separate thing to put those eggs on, because I don't like cross-contamination on my counter. So I'm gonna crack them here and leave them here. This is the consistency. See how smooth that is now? And just wait till we add those eggs in, y'all. All right. So we're gonna crack our eggs. Okay. Yes, my eggs are blue. Wonderful blue eggs. All right, let's get that in. Of course, before I pick you guys up, I have to wash my hands because I don't want egg juice on my camera. See that, y'all? I know some people put milk and all those things in their banana bread. This recipe works for me and my hubby. Well, actually, my family. kids love banana bread. But I don't put milk, and I've never put milk in here. I don't see the purpose of it, but if you do cook with milk, there's nothing wrong with that. This recipe just doesn't call for it, and I've never done it. Look at that, y'all. Oh my God. I think I have some raisins that's been soaking in rum. I had made some homemade rum raisin ice cream. I was testing out a recipe. I need to perfect it a little more before I share that with you guys. But it was pretty good. It was a little too sweet, so I'm going to have to tone down something in it before I bring it to the channel. But the ice cream was actually pretty good. All right, y'all. I'm going to whisk this because my fork time is over. I want to try to get it as smooth as possible. So here we go. This is really a workout, y'all. I love it. Look at that. All right, so this is for a loaf recipe, clearly. So it's just enough to make this loaf. Obviously, I'm going to do the other one. I just want to let you guys see from start to finish instead of doing a double batch. This is what you'll need to make one loaf if you're one loafing it. Let's get all that goodness out of there. We want all of our mixture. Nothing to go to waste. I preheated my oven to 350. I know when it's done, when I smell it, like it's so fragrant, like you just automatically know. But you want to check on it from time to time, but don't keep opening it, you know. You don't want it to fall. You definitely want this to rise. I think I got everything out of there, y'all. I don't waste nothing when I make my banana bread. Okay, I give it a little shimmy shake from side to side, up and down. Kind of make sure everything's level in there. Okay, that's what it looks like. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make the other one off camera, and then we're gonna put these in the oven. Y'all, we are done with our batter. Here are our lovely banana breads. They're getting ready to go right into the oven. We did a double batch because when we make it, we eat it. We eat it quickly. So like I said, I preheated my oven to 350. This will probably bake about between 35 to 45 minutes. I usually take it to right about 40 minutes because I want it well done. Sometimes with these banana breads, they can be pretty tricky when you're baking them in a loaf. You want to make sure it's fully cooked. You can check it, but I suggest when you start to see it rise and it's brown, then check it to see how the center looks. But you don't want to keep opening your oven. Just if you have an oven where you can just turn on your oven light and keep an eye on it, then do that. So there they go, they're in there. And we're gonna wish them well. So they're gonna bake, and then after they're done, I'm gonna share that with you. Oh my God, they're so delicious. But usually, like I said, I don't use a timer. I've been doing this for a while, so as soon as I smell them, I know they're just about ready. I'll just take a peek, but you'll know when they're done because the whole house will smell like a bakery. And that's when you know they're done. So When they're finished, I'll be back to show you what they look like.